You won't believe that some football players are so sluggish that they don't put in the effort to practice, but it's true. The professional version of football is often regarded as one of the most difficult team sports in the world because each game lasts for a full hour and a half and necessitates intense mental and physical effort. In order to be successful, one must be a top-tier athlete in addition to being a top-tier player in order to achieve one's goals. To our relief, however, there are a plethora of famous people who've triumphed over their distaste to laborious work in order to achieve fame and fortune. These players are more often than not the ones who can reverse the tide of a game with only a moment of magic, and they are known as idle idols. Hello and welcome to Goalside. In today's video, we will talk about the laziest players in football. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the post notifications. So without wasting any time, let's dive right into the video. 1. Alvaro Recoba's own time zone. When the forward was still playing for Venezia, his former teammates bought him a watch in the vain hope that he would start showing up on time for practice at some point. The British newspaper The Guardian referred to El Chino in the year 2003 as the world's #1 almost great player. Even Recoba's wife referred to him as lazy and romantic, and during his time at Venezia, the forward's teammates gave him a watch in the hopes that he would actually be on time for once. When paying tribute to the Uruguayan, who won 2 Serie A titles with the club in 2006 and 2007, former Inter president Massimo Moratti put it up brilliantly when he said, "Alvaro Recoba was a bit like Inter, constantly unexpected. He could be slothful at times, yet he was capable of doing things that nobody had ever seen before. Just competition." 2. Antonio Cassano doesn't do warm-ups. Cassano didn't exactly go the extra mile in the Italian capital after being acquired by Roma from Bari in 2001 for the price of £19 million and accumulating a wage package of £83,000 per week as a result of the transaction. After being told to warm up by manager Fabio Capello in the dying stages of a Serie A match, the forward responded by saying, "It's not worth it for 6 minutes." The match was being played in Italy. The future manager of England came up with the term Cassanata to describe a player who's not actively involved with the team as a result of Cassano's habit of often skipping training sessions. 3. Hatem Ben Arfa, static number 10. An incriminating video of the midfielder faking out his club PSG by pretending to perform press-ups during a workout surfaced online. The Frenchman was the target of criticism from his own teammates at Newcastle for not pulling his weight, and he also ran into issues while on loan at Hull in 2014. When club statisticians ran the numbers on Ben Arfa's work rate, the results didn't make for particularly positive reading. Ben Arfa defended himself by referring to his role as a number 10, to which manager Steve Bruce replied, "Aren't players who wear 10 supposed to run around then?" After being left appropriately disappointed by his players' demeanour, Unai Emery decided to bench him for 4 of the team's upcoming matches. 4. Lucas Podolski leaves his friends behind. When Podolski moved from Cologne to Arsenal in 2012, Berti Vogts, who had previously coached Germany, wasted no time in criticising the move. Vogts grumbled as he said he had too many friends in the city. He got recognised as a fantastic runner if he ever went back to defend 3 times in a game. He had too many friends in the city. A straw poll was conducted among his past coaches, and the results indicated that the striker was voted the laziest player they've ever worked with. A former goalkeeper named Uli Stein seemed to agree with this assessment, as he declared that he was the laziest player they've ever worked with. When asked about the frequency with which he was removed from the game by Arsenal head coach Arsene Wenger, the player himself had the following response: "I always come off, and of course you cannot be happy when you always go off after 60-70 minutes. 5. Balotelli makes progress on a segue with his strides. In order for him to play in his position, he needed to work on improving the aspect of his game, else he'll be forced to stand on the sidelines of the football field. When Brendan Rodgers was asked if he was delighted with Mario Balotelli's late penalty kick winner for Liverpool against Besiktas at Anfield in 2015, he responded, "No, once we get the penalty, he stops working." Balotelli scored the game-winning goal in the Europa League for Liverpool. When Milan was sent the Italian on loan, the situation did not improve in any way. After the striker's performance against Sassuolo in 2016, Roberto Maroni, a political ally of the previous club owner Silvio Berlusconi, criticised the player harshly, saying Balotelli was non-existent, he must leave. It was obvious that he was unmotivated and unwilling to give his all as he wandered aimlessly around the field, thinking about something else. The striker was most likely seen riding a Segway around the Trafford Centre the last time he was in England. He had recently purchased the device in order to reduce the strain on his legs. 6. Romario departs for Rio following a 20-minute cameo. So Bobby Robson found out the full extent of Romario's reluctance to training when he arrived at PSV following Italia 90. Robson was Romario's coach at the time. Later on, the former England manager reflected on the player's behaviour, saying that there were times when he was painfully lethargic. In order to be fresh for the game, he would dance, talk, meet a local lady, carouse with her, and then sleep all day. In the meantime, the Brazilian approached Johan Cruyff in Barcelona in 1994 and inquired about the possibility of taking 2 days off work to attend the Carnival in Rio. The Dutch manager informed his striker that the only way he would be allowed to have a day off was if he scored 2 goals on the following day. After completing his brace in the allotted time of 20 minutes, Romario dashed out to the airport exactly 1 hour after the game's final whistle. Following his brief appearance, Romario boarded a flight to Rio. 7. Kanu play to your 50? It was discovered that the striker for Portsmouth had run fewer yards than the goalkeeper David James during one of their games. The mercurial former Arsenal player may have just had a leisurely playing style, but that doesn't mean he wasn't lazy. During one game for Portsmouth, the striker was found to have run fewer yards than David James. This is evidence that the striker was indeed lethargic. After their victory over Hull in 2010, manager Avram Grant made a humorous quip about the player, saying, "I think he'll play until he's 51. You can tell, Kanu, that he's not in the same level of physical shape as he was previously since he's not running as quickly. He's getting on in years, but he still has a lot of wit." 8. Riquelme, the lazy magician. The club Villarreal played for turned a blind eye whenever Riquelme picked up strange injuries, didn't fancy exercising, or brought a trainload of buddies over to Spain. So it's fair to say that Villarreal indulged Riquelme a little bit. Following his attendance at the birth of his son in Argentina, the Argentine begged to be excused from his duties upon his return to that country. It was one step too far, so Yellow Submarine Club president Fernando Roig launched him a torpedo, saying he will obey the club and fulfill his commitments or else he'll have problems with me. However, Louis van Gaal at Barcelona was Riquelme's toughest adversary during his time there. The Dutchman once remarked to the playmaker, "When you have the ball, you're the best player on the field, yet when you don't, we play with one fewer player." Riquelme retorted angrily, "Why should I run when the ball can do it?" in response to the question. Touché, Juan, touché. What do you think about the laziest players who used to play football? Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.